Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today's video is about Matthew Wolff and what you can learn from him. So I think too many people see his swing as being a bit different and are making it out that it's this really unorthodox thing that won't hold up under pressure. We found out that pressure isn't something that Matthew Wolff ever experiences. You know, I think it was his 4th or 5th PGA Tour start, 3M Open, he is a PGA Tour winner. But I don't think his swing is anywhere near as unorthodox as some people are making out. I have a driver swing here that I took off of the Instagram of his coach, George Gankus. So I took / borrowed. But he is a great coach. He's obviously got a really great personality and he's been doing really well on social media. But from a coaching standpoint, he's done a fantastic job here. He's taken a lot of the concepts that he uses, but I don't think he's gone over the top with them either. So I think the first thing with Matthew's swing is his little trigger move. So let's play his swing through here. You see, he gives it this little one. Through experience, I have found that if you try and change a player's trigger movement, you need a really strong case and argument for doing that, because as soon as you start changing that, the player, even if they're technically better, really struggle on the golf course. You know, they feel really uncomfortable. And that little move there, I feel like it's a bit of a trigger. Yes, it's kind of simulating what he wants to do in the downswing, but I see that as a trigger. It looks a little strange, but it's not really having an effect. You know, it makes him feel comfortable. When you look at his setup is as orthodox as you could find. You know, really athletic. He's got great angles in the body, which I like. It looks athletic. George Gankus sometimes likes a bit of a more rounded setup. It lets people move, but because Matthew is so athletic, he's got a really athletic setup. So in terms of setup, it's a massive green tick. You know, there's nothing unorthodox about this. This is where it does start to differ a little bit. The way he is going in that takeaway, and you look at how far that club comes out, and it starts to close. Yes, that is unorthodox. But, and I did a video when I was in Bangkok, so this is a few years ago. I did a video of Ryan Moore, who has a very similar movement. You know, the club comes up and out, and then it comes in, down in underneath. It's a movement that the average club golfer who is struggling, especially with driver, does not do. And like I said in that video, and it definitely applies here, if you try and copy this movement, the likelihood is you are going to make a movement that is far more orthodox than what you're currently doing. I like the fact, so if I've got a choice of somebody in this part of their swing having the club outside of the hands versus inside of the hands, I will pick outside. And if I've got the choice of someone being open with the face or closed, I will choose closed. So yes, it does look a little unorthodox, but I think a lot of you would benefit from being here than where you probably currently are in your own swing. Once we get to the top, the thing that really does stand out is his foot, this foot here. And yes, that is unorthodox, but what I would like to point out here is how stable his pelvis is. You know, that you can see there's coil, you can see that he hasn't like swayed off of it or over extended the trail leg. So I think that foot actually, it kind of hides the fact that he actually moves his body fantastically well. And having the foot up, and again, this is something that you can learn from, is if you release your left foot, it's probably going to help you turn more. And then this is what he does fantastically, is when he changes direction. So you see, changes direction, that foot plants straight away. And can you see now that's like a semi-squat? And that, in terms of sequencing, is the money move. So that is why I would never go anywhere near that change. And again, something that looks a little unorthodox, but it allows him to do something that is very orthodox and something that has to be mechanically there if you're going to play on tour. I like the fact that the top of his swing, yes, the club is a bit across the line, but I see too many golfers over-rotate this trail shoulder and elbow, so they then have to go this way. You know, whereas because he is across the line a little bit, he then flattens to perfection. I kind of feel like, and this is something that you see a lot in George Gankis's kind of swing model, I feel like it's very much like the A swing that Ledbetter teaches. It's just George allows the arms to be far freer. But trying to go steep to shallow, I think that can really help a lot of golfers. And remember, you've got that feel versus real component as well. So if you feel like you do this, the likelihood is it will just stop you going back and down a little too steep. So you'll feel a big loop, whereas actually it will be something that's very minimal, but very functional for you. When I'm in this position here, and if you look up at the club face, it's pointing back a bit, and it looks to me that that's a bit open. And what he does fantastically, and I think this is probably the bit of his swing that kind of allows him to be great, but it would probably be hard for you to do consistently anyway, as I try and get there. This position here, can you see how he's kind of bowing the lead wrist, and what that's done is he's now got complete control of that club face. You know, that's a really powerful move. You see it in Dustin Johnson, you see it in like John Rahm. You know, it's a really powerful move and it's a great move, but it's actually can be quite hard to do sometimes, especially with junior golfers. So, you know, I love that positioning, but I'm not necessarily saying that that's the one that you want to be copying. You know, you want a slightly calmer version of that. But look where the club is. This is loaded. This is absolute textbook. I've already used this phrase once. It is money. And then, to finish everything off, look at how his legs explode, and that back leg pushing through the ground, it hasn't kicked out. As soon as that leg kicks out, it really does encourage your whole system to work out kind of over and then to the left. You know, the club golfer, that can cause the slice, it can cause that like low hook. The movement that he has got there, he does not have to worry about that. And then going through, bang. You know, it's a great swing. It's a great swing, and when you break it down biomechanically, it's got the functional bits are there. I don't think he has any problems at all. I wouldn't be asking him to make any changes. When he won the NCAA championships last month, I was really impressed with his wedge play. You know, you get a few guys that are raw with a load of power, and then they sometimes struggle to control the wedges. Dustin Johnson would be a great example. That's something that has improved a lot in the last few years. It's really allowed him to up his performance. I'm impressed where he is already, and I'm always impressed with someone for their first win on the PGA Tour to box an eagle putt. You know, that's got nothing to do with power. That's will, determination, and a bit of touch. So Matthew Wolff, he could win again. He could win again soon. You know, we got majors coming up, and we've got some big full, you know, FedEx Cup. We've got massive events coming up. He ain't afraid to lose. I think his mechanics will hold up. I think you at home can learn a lot from him as well. And taking that move, not overturning the trail arm. That's the big thing I want you to take away from this video. And then, don't worry about bad shots. Just try and make loads of birdies. That's another good thing you could copy from him. Thanks for watching. Get some comments down below. Are you somebody that agrees with me, and actually when you look at it, you think it looks quite nice, or are you of the opposite opinion? You actually think that's very unorthodox, and over time it won't hold up? You know, I know there's a few of you out there. If you're that person, get some comments down below. As always, like and subscribe. Hope to catch you soon.